Hello again, everybody. This is Brother Chooch for TOL End Times. TOL End Times, as you know, is the home of the Rapture Heads. And it's been a while, has it not, since we've done a live broadcast. Pretty amazing. So I'm glad to see you guys on. Now, the reason why I haven't been doing many live broadcasts, at least in the last couple of weeks, is because I have been very busy with this Rapture convergence theory. And I find myself that instead of coming on doing live broadcasts, I'm investing the time and effort in that. So that's probably why it's the way it is. But I will say this, that very excited. I have never put so much time in a 30-minute video ever before. And it's really, I think, going to be a good video. But that's my opinion, right? So if you wanna tune in and see the video, the premiere of the video, then that means you would want to tune in Sunday night, Sunday evening. And that will get, I'm not sure what time we'll launch it, but it's only 30 minutes. But to me, it feels like it's 40 hours because there's so much editing. But I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy the content. I think you enjoy the subject. Because to me, this is like the Super Bowl. And this is like the biggest event for TOL to do this. We plan on this being the last and final and ultimate convergence theory. Did we do a convergence theory in 2020? Yes, we did. Did we do a convergence theory in 2019? No, we did not. So this will be the second convergence theory. I don't see how it could be another one after this. I really don't. And the way everything is converging and lining up, I just, in my finite, puny mind, cannot imagine this going much further. Okay? But before we get into that, I'm going to do a roll call. We haven't done that in a while. So let's see who's on here tonight. We got almost 200 people, which is wonderful for 11:10 on a Friday night. So I would like to greet and welcome and say hello, fellow Rapture heads, plural, A Fede, All Light, Amy Nolan, Angela Chino, Await H, Camden Hudson, Chad D, Colin Marie, Connie Drake, Daniel Baldwin, Dawn Logan D. Marie, Ellen Mosley, Frank Rustico, Glorifying Jesus, Glory Fire Garden of God Shekinah, Harpazo Palazzo in a raptosecond in the wake of Revelation 12, JB, Janet Brown, Jason Graves, Jennifer McCollum, Jesse Nolan, Jim Jackson, Julie Lills, Carrie Fleming, Kevin Keir, Kitty Cat Beatrice, Larry McMonagle, Linda Kay, Lois Lacey, Mark White, Matt Short, Megan Elkhorn, Melissa Powell, Nancy Lewis, Oceania, Ocean Love, Ophelia Buenaventura, Palipi Pep, Pam Devers, Pamela S., Penny Clem, Prayer Warrior Jennifer, Priscilla Negrate, Rambling Rose, Rapture Saint, Repo Man 64, Rhonda Eaton, Roger B., Romford UK, Sandy Aaron, Sandra Hutchinson, Shell Bell, Sophia Watkins, Suzanne Sprague, Tiger Monkey Joey, Tim Brown, Trina S., Trisha G., Texas Sweet Pea, JG, Vanessa B., Virginia Cyberwansky, Watching Till Jesus Comes, Wendy, Wes, Romans 10, 9 to 13. So I actually said everybody that is on the participant list. So that's close to 200 names. Thank you so much all for tuning in. I'm not sure why you're tuning in to see such a person as me. I'm catching a lot of slack from my wife with this beard. You don't want to know. She is not happy with the beard. So the beard is on. Unfortunately, I have to listen to the wife, you know. If it was up to me, I would grow my beard until the rapture, but that doesn't look like it's going to happen. So unless you guys want my head on a charger, then I'm going to need to trim the beard soon. But I will say that one of the things I've noticed, because I saw a picture of me about 10 years ago, is that I have a lot more grays in my hair, my beard hairs, than I did before. So I don't know. It is what it is. Happy wife, happy life. The only thing I could do is maybe make my beard into like a cornrow sort of thing, because she thinks it's just too. If if I make cornrows out of it, it might look neater. I don't know. But anyways, let's talk about the Rapture, because when we get our new body, we're not going to have scruffy beards or anything like that. We're going to be sporting our new look. We're going to be have a new glorified body. It's going to be wonderful. So if you notice amongst the watchmen and watchwomen, there seems to be an excitement starting to well up now that we're coming onto spring. Now, I want to say this is that one of the reasons why I think we should be excited about the springtime is that the Lord, and I want you to watch the Rapture Convergence Theory. The Lord is very much into harvests and the timing of harvests. And harvests are important. I believe they're symbolic. And I don't want to share too much of the rapture convergence theory, because there is a whole message that's going to be on the harvest seasons. But when you have spring, right, what do we naturally think about in the spring? We think about, winter is past, and now we have newness of life. We have the vegetation starting to come up. We feel invigorated. The days start getting longer. There's more sunlight, warmer temperatures. We start thinking about planting flowers. Um, it's a time of renewal, just like Rebecca S. says, renewal and birth. Okay. So and I said this before, around Thanksgiving time, maybe a little bit before Thanksgiving time, I started to believe strongly that the rapture would not happen in 2020, and it won't even happen in the winter time of 2021. And I didn't want to shout that out too much, because I know people were excited about Hanukkah and December 21st and other dates. And I thought that Wouldn't it be nice if you have the theme of rebirth, of even marriage, of the harvest, the grain harvest, that wouldn't it be nice if the rapture happened in the springtime? And of course, Paulette Rose, you're correct. If you read Song of Solomon, chapter 2, you get a very strong, beautiful picture of um, Solomon and the Shulamite woman, and there is romance and an invite to go away with the king. And the backdrop is the sound of the turtle dove, and the figs are green, right? It's a wonderful, beautiful picture of spring and a wooing of the bride to be. And when I read Song of Solomon in chapter 2, and I'm not saying that this indeed is the rapture, but I type that is the Lord giving us a hint in even in the Old Testament of his plan. Now, here's another interesting tidbit. Solomon is the son of David. What did David do in the springtime? Does anybody know? Let me ask that. Does anybody know what David did in the springtime? I'm not sure if I have time to pull the verse up because my Bible app isn't even activated right now. Somebody says he shepherded. Probably. Let me just give a couple more people a guess here. He danced. I don't know. He took out Goliath. Possibly. Not sure, brother. Danced. I'm not sure if he danced when he danced. Oh, Corey Cook got it right. Corey Cook nailed it. And that was a tough question I asked. So, Spybreaker likes my new headphones. If you notice, they purposely got orange ones because that's the official color of DOL. So, Corey Cook, you win the prize. You win first. You are in first place. It said, first of all, he was on the rooftop, and it says during the time when the kings went to war. And I believe in the KJV it mentions the springtime. Okay, so let's give it up for Corey Cook. You got it right the first one. And so why do I say that? Well, David is the king of Israel, but David's more of a picture of Israel in regards to its, that will be, like the Israel at its peak. I don't want to even say peak governmental, like, the crescendo. I think of Israel's most blessed time was under Solomon. But that seemed to be more of a picture of Israel in the millennial reign. David seems to be a picture more of Israel prior to the millennial reign. Now, that might be a stretch, but anyways, here you have Solomon in the springtime. He's pursuing his bride, but David in the springtime is going to war, or he should be in war. He's actually committing adultery. but it's the times when the kings go to war. Now, one of the interpretations I say is that during the time when Jesus, picture of Solomon, is taking away his bride, the nation of Israel is going to war, or should be going to war. So I find it that this coming spring, I would not be surprised if Jesus comes and takes his bride, and at the same time, Israel goes to war in the spring. Now remember, too, David committed adultery with Bathsheba. And what's Israel doing right now? I believe Israel right now is doing a form of adultery. Israel is making allegiances, normalization pacts, whatever you want to call the Abraham Accords. And instead of trusting in their God for peace and security, they're trusting in their pagan neighbors. They're making a league with those who do not have Yeshua, do not have Yahweh, rather, as their God. And secondly, right now, who's leading, what country is leading the world in vipers, of its citizens receiving the viper? Does anybody know? Obviously. Israel by far. Israel by far. They're getting their citizens vipered so quickly that make your head spin. And I think they're on a mission to get everyone vipered. And if you don't get vipered, Israel's not playing games. I believe they're working towards a list being made public of those who have not received the viper. Wasn't that interesting? So why do I bring that up? Because Israel is relying on their own strength, the wisdom of man, and the solutions of man to solve their issues and problems with this pestilence. Instead, Israel, and I believe every nation in the world, should be repenting and turning to the Lord for him to lift this pestilence. Now, I know that that's really not happening. It's really, truly not happening. And because I believe this is a man-made pestilence, and the viper is a man-made solution, that the Lord, for the most part, is leaving us to reap what we sowed. And as we consider what Israel's doing, they're basically trusting in man, trusting in their neighbors, trusting in these peace agreements. And what's going to happen? It's all going to backfire. It's all going to backfire. Their neighbors will double cross them. The pestilence, I don't think is going to go away. That's just my opinion. And ultimately, I think that Israel's got to learn that you have to go back to your God. You're not going to get peace and security from making a deal with the devil. And that's ultimately what's going to happen. That firming up of the covenant with many is Israel's deal with the devil. If you make a deal with the devil, he's going to double cross you every time. He's going to stab you in the back. He's a liar and a deceiver, and he can't keep his promises because there's not a bone in him that's honest. So when you stop and think about it, am I being foolish if I say everything is lining up? Now, I just gave you a little appetizer for the rapture convergence theory. We're gonna give you guys plenty to chew on. Bro Keeks and I are quite serious about this, and we're gonna look at this. I mean, if you look at all the things going on right now in the world, we're gonna take a hard look at everything. And then we want you guys, we're gonna present all this material, and then you guys do what you want with it. We hope that you guys are gonna be Bereans and say, let me check this out for myself. But we are very excited because this springtime, this summer, and with the fig tree and with what's going on in the Middle East, and there's just so much going on. If this is not it, then I believe I've lost touch with reality. I think I've lost touch with reality. And that's scary because I'm going to be like Nebuchadnezzar out in the fields, like just grazing on the grass for 7 years. I mean, I can't see past the summer. I mean, my mind won't be able to grasp what just happened. So that's why I think it's critical that we look at the next several months and say, this may be go time. I mean, you stop and think about, and I love the saying that prophecy has a shelf life. Well, the fig tree generation is like the expiration date. And it's just like, I mean, I have a jar of peanut butter in my fridge that is past the expiration date. It's still good. I basically open up the jar. If it doesn't look like a petri dish, then it's still good. If you smell it, here's the thing: when you're dealing with things like cheese, peanut butter, bread, if it doesn't look like a petri dish, and I mean a petri dish that's like growing something, it doesn't look like a, what do you call those things? Chia pet. If it doesn't look like a chia pet and it doesn't smell foul, you don't necessarily go by the expiration date. You may want to just say, this is still good. But you see, we're at a place where the expiration date for prophecy is really, it's really getting to that place where you're saying all this stuff can't stay good that much longer. Now think about this. What if we had everything happening in the world right now, but we took out what's going on in Syria? Like there's no alliance between Russia, Turkey, and Iran. Now, I still think that we would be. I still think we would be very excited about the possibility of rapture. But we would say, well, it doesn't look like Ezekiel 38 and 39 is going to happen anytime soon. I mean, after all, the nations described in those chapters aren't really aligned with each other. Now, the reason why I say that is just to bring out the emphasis is that, guys, the allegiance in 38 and 39 are parked in Syria. If you took out, let's say Damascus was, I think it's like 10 to 15% already in ruins. It's still got a long way to go before it becomes a ruinous heap. But the fact that Damascus gets bombed is certainly targeted by Israel. And think about Isaiah 17. We could say that, wow. Now, if Damascus was thriving, had no issues with it, it had no military positioning or significance for it to be attacked, then we would say, I guess Isaiah 17 may not be fulfilled anytime soon. But the case is that it's a volatile place, and it could be destroyed quite quickly. And I believe the Lord's going to use Israel to do that. What if you took away the pestilence that we have right now? Would that create a problem with the whole situation about us thinking that the time is soon? Well, before the pestilence broke out, there's a lot of excitement about the Lord's returning back in 2018, 2019. But when the pestilence broke out, that created a whole new set of like, wow, this might really accelerate things, which it has. Because now through that, look what's formed. We're talking about a one world currency. We're talking about tracking people. We're talking about verification. You have some sort of verification. You can't buy or sell. You can't enter into commerce without proving that you got vipered. So I mean, think about that. Take that element out. You still probably would be close to the end. What if you took away all the crazy events that have been taking place in nature the last 2 or 3 years? Take away all the volcanoes, take away all the significant earthquakes, take away the floodings and the fires. You could even take away the locust swarm attacks, and did I mention earthquakes? I mean, the significant earthquakes. Take all that out and just pretend that the earth hasn't really been showing any of those birth pangs. Would you still be excited that the end is close? I think I would. But the very fact that, when we look at the Ring of Fire, we look what's been going on there. We look about all the earthquakes in diverse places, and the hurricanes and the flooding and the historical fires in Australia, California, locust swarms like I've never heard of in my life, attacking the Middle East and in Africa and to the borders of China. Okay. Would you still be excited? Here's another question too, guys. And please, somebody check my temperature, because this is so bizarre. This is hyper bizarre. This is uber bizarre. I don't even know how to put a word to this. It's almost surreal that we're talking about aliens and UFOs and galaxy federations, and the Pentagon released footage of a UFO? Really? Guys, I've been alive through the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the zeros, the tens, and now I'm starting the 20s. I've left my carbon footprint in 6 different decades. I have never heard the government of the United States talk about, even hinting about these disclosures. And society's like la di da di da, la di da di da, like it's no, like, oh, that's interesting, la di da di da, huh? This is beyond bizarre. And when you say to yourself, well, if Satan's going to use this as the excuse of why we disappear, wouldn't it make sense that we're hearing about all this now so that when the event happens, guess what? People are already conditioned to, oh, yeah, we've been talking about this for a few months now. We got a rover on the Mars right now. It's probably in some desert in Nevada, but supposedly it's in Mars. I don't know how they control it. Do they have a radio wave pointed to Mars and somebody with a remote control in NASA controlling this thing? What if this thing tips over on its back? What happens? Does we wait for an alien to come by and put it straight back up? Doesn't make sense. We can't take care of things on Earth. Why do we want to go to Mars? I don't get it. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Maybe I should desire for mankind to, you know, I don't even believe we went to the moon. And you could call me, this is the thing. It says, let man be a liar and God be true. I don't believe a lot of things that man says. I'm very skeptical. I'll tell you what I do believe. I'll tell you what I do believe is this. This is what I believe. I'll believe this before I believe the news or what a politician says. This is what I believe. What's in these 66 books, okay? And I don't read anywhere in those 66 books about UFOs and aliens. Or do I read about, I'll tell you what, it's just this world is so anti-God that it's mesmerizing to think that people will believe that aliens abducted us rather than Jesus came and raptured his church. But you want to know something? The Lord is like, I think the Lord's had enough of this. And he's like, he's gonna allow there to be strong delusion that they will believe the lie. And this Pope, the Pope that's in the world today, he was supposed to retire shortly after Christmas. I knew that wasn't going to happen. You kidding me? This Pope, I've never seen any pope like this in my life. You kidding? This Pope Francis takes the cake. I wouldn't be surprised if he sits on the laps of these aliens when they show up. He's probably going to be parading these aliens like, oh yeah, we had him over to the Vatican for lunch, and we got a game plan of how to help the Earth. I just don't trust how this is going to play out. It's going to be ridiculous. No wonder they had the Circus Soleil at the Vatican, because that's going to seem like normalcy about what's going to be coming down the pike. I couldn't believe that they had the Circus Soleil with the Pope sitting in the middle, and they got a Circus Soleil going on. Hmm. If I didn't see it with my own eyes, I wouldn't believe it. They got a building in the somewhere in uh, Vatican City that looks like a serpent. Looks like the head of a serpent. One of the buildings. Just don't get it. People, they got an obelisk, right? That's like a male phallic Egyptian symbol right there in the middle of the Vatican. They got one at Washington, D.C. I mean, does anybody ever question what's this thing, pointy little thing that we see? They put, you know, all the cement, pointy little thing pointing up real high in the sky. Do people ask questions? Yeah, well, son, that's a male phallic symbol from ancient Egypt, and you know, we decided in our Christian nation that we're going to put the biggest one in our capital. Oh, okay, Dad, thanks. I just don't get it. Maybe I'm the odd one. And to be quite honest with you, there is bliss in ignorance. There is bliss in being ignorant, because these things bother me. These things are not comforting to know. I feel like, you know what? I used to believe when I was a child that people were out to help you and have your best interest in mind. So whatever needles I got plucked with back then, I didn't know. I mean, I'm not saying that they harmed me all that much, but I don't want any vipers now. I don't trust what's in that. So what do you guys think? I mean, what are we doing here? Are we getting ready to go? Or are we going to deal, or do we have to have another year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years of this? I mean, what's going on? You tell me, right? I didn't come here to give you answers. I want you to tell me what to do. What should I look for? What should I do? Should I just stick my head in the sand? Should I go to the doctor and ask for medication? Should I pick up a hobby? What do I do? Tell me. I don't know what to do except for wait for Jesus to come back and try to live, walk closely with him. Now, let's see what you guys are telling me what I should do. What do I need to do? All right, let's see what you guys say, because I value your opinions. I'm just trying to find the section of where you guys are responding here. You guys have a lot to say tonight. Pray to go home. Okay. Pray to go home. That's by Shannon Gilbert. Thanks, Shannon. Rafiki S says, look up. And a Raptosecond says, we're getting set up this year for Rapture. Latest next May. Please stay on this channel. Wait, hang on. Somebody bumped me off this Raptosecond. Where'd you go, Raptosecond? He had something nice to say, but now I can't find his post anymore. I'm sorry, I lost it. Okay, I'm going to have to find somebody else then. Lisa Waller says, Waller Gage says, occupy and look up. Very good. Paulette Rose says, keep looking up. Joshua David E79 says, trust in the Lord. Corey Cook says, look up, your redemption is near. D. Marie says, we're going vertical. Frank Restico says, don't give up, bro. Karch 101 says, if we get past May 14th, make this channel. Look what Karch 101 says. If we get past May 14th, make this we can't even say it. Make this channel a mukbang channel called TOL Eat Times. Oh my goodness. Noah says, read God's word. Very good. Wes says, pray and trust him. Jim Collins says, occupy and maintain. Prayer warrior Jennifer, I'm trying to keep myself occupied with other stuff, new hobbies, etc. Okay, I could take up a hobby. That might be a good idea. It seems like most of you guys are saying occupy, pray, trust in the Lord, don't take any meds, stay in the Word, keep away from pharmaceuticals. Okay, this is good advice. I trust you guys. Okay, so anyways, I rambled on long enough. I hope you enjoyed this fellowship. It was fun. It was fun. You guys are a blast. Anyways, please tune in Sunday night. I hope that you will enjoy the Rapture Convergence Theory. We will sprinkle in, what I would like to do maybe is after each, maybe not everyone, but in the Rapture Convergence Theory, I think we're planning on doing eight to 10 videos. So maybe between Rapture Convergence videos, we'll have a discussion on the video we just saw and have a little bit of fellowship with each other. But anyways, I love you guys. Thank you very much for being so gracious to stay up this late and to talk with me. So I wish you the best with God's blessings, of course. And I hope to see you here, there, but especially in the air.